Remember when Lena Dunham and Jack Antonoff purchased a $4 million apartment together and he hated how she decorated it and then she ended up having to buy him out anyway? I do. Unfortunately. It was 2012 when Direction released their debut album. Gossip Girl wrapped the series up with a big reveal. The end of the Twilight saga broke box office records, and that April, 25-year-old Lena was set up on a blind date with 28-year-old Jack by his sister Rachel and their friend Mike Birbiglia. Even though Lena arrived 40 minutes late to the dinner, Jack was smitten and told her everything about himself because, according to Jack, that's what you do when you like someone. Lena is a chronic oversharer, so I'm sure that endeared him to her. It wasn't long after their first meeting that Jack began staying at Lena's Brooklyn apartment. They made their first big public appearance in the spring of 2013 at New York Fashion Week, where they posed alongside Jack's fashion designer sister, Rachel. Their red carpet debut came 5 months later when they attended the Oscars together, and Lena publicly confirmed their relationship in an interview because apparently smooching him at the Oscars wasn't confirmation enough. As both their careers ramped up and the cash flowed in, they took a huge step in May of 2014 when they jointly purchased a unit on Henry Street in Brooklyn Heights for a hefty $4,887,600 doll hairs. The couple said that they wanted a permanent place where they could build a future and consider children. And they did expand their family, adopting a dog named Lammy. Lena marked their anniversaries with posts dedicated to Jack. On their third anniversary in 2015, she posted this photo with the caption, "In 20 minutes, it will be 3 whole years since this straight-up creature creeped into my life. I feel lucky every day, even now as he noisily dub smashes while I try and sleep. Thank you, Jack." Earlier that year, they kicked up rumors of an engagement when Lena was spotted wearing a ring on that finger. That ring that everyone was talking about is a friendship ring I wear with Girls' executive producer and writer, Jenny Connor. "I love my boyfriend. I'm very lucky to call him my life partner, but you will sooner see me pregnant with twins," she explained. She'd also been very vocal about the fact that the two had zero intention of getting married until gay marriage was legal in all 50 states. So much so that Jack apparently had struggled with the idea of playing his straight friend's wedding. Yeah. You know who else insisted upon waiting until gay marriage was legalized in the US? Brad and Angelina, and Kristen and Dax. I rest my case. Which made it real awkward that June when gay marriage had been legalized, and Lena tweeted at Jack, "Get on it, yo." He did not reply back. He did eventually give her a ring, though. Yes, for their 4-year anniversary, Jack gave her a friendship ring. Lena proudly showed off her Edwardian-era ring on the gram, calling Jack boyfriend of the year and saying, "I will so enjoy looking at it while I type words." Because when you're only a month shy of your 30th birthday, why wouldn't you want a friendship ring from your 32-year-old boyfriend with whom you purchased a $4.8 million hair property? He did stay by her side, though, throughout all of her health struggles and many public faux pas. If he really loved her, though, I think he would have changed the password to her Bird app account. That could have saved her and the general public a lot of grief. Lena spent a good chunk of 2016 campaigning for Hillary Clinton and attempting to remove her foot from her mouth, like when she did that Lenny Letter interview with Amy Schumer, where she recounted her experience with New York Giants Odell Beckham Jr., claiming that he refused to speak to her because, as she perceived it, he deemed her not attractive enough to be intimate with. Saying, "It was so amazing because it was like he looked at me and he determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards. He was like, that's a marshmallow, that's a child, that's a dog. It wasn't mean. He just seemed confused." Of course, he didn't actually say any of that, and she was later forced to publicly apologize to him, but not before calling all of the valid criticism she was receiving the outrage machine. She decided to round out the year by getting roasted again publicly for saying that she had never terminated a pregnancy, but she wished that she had. This came after a Planned Parenthood visit where she was asked about her own termination story, and she quickly replied that she hadn't had one, which revealed to her that she was carrying a deeply ingrained stigma around the topic. After the outrage machine came for her once again, she publicly apologized, again, saying, "My words were spoken from a sort of delusional girl persona I often inhabit, a girl who careens between wisdom and ignorance. That's what my TV show is too, and it didn't translate." Shocking. And thus, Lena and Jack hobbled their way into 2017, probably vowing to make this year better than the last. Lena joined Jack's project Bleachers for his album Gone Now, which she sang on as well as directed the video for Don't Take the Money. But as the year wore on, Lena continued to struggle with her health and said that this put strain on their relationship. That November, Lena tweeted, "I thought Jack was furtively planning a proposal to me with his sister, and he just admitted I actually caught him talking crap about me. Now I literally can't sleep because I'm laughing too hard, and I'm also keeping him away. 5.5 years, no rock, and you know what? It's real nice." You know, I have found in my many years on this planet that anytime anyone brings up how happily unmarried they are, it's because they're actually miserable, and someone is usually cheating, especially if they brought up a proposal multiple times. Later that month, Lena had a full hysterectomy to treat severe endometriosis. Then in January of 2018, news broke that Lena and Jack were done so. They claimed that they had been breaking up for the last 6 months and that their breakup was amicable, but as 2018 rolled on, things got a little less amicable and a little bit more weird. Jack ended up buying Lena out of their shared home. She panicked and purchased a very beautiful loft in Williamsburg with 13-foot ceilings for $2.9 million. She never lived in it. Instead, she squatted at her parents' house and at her dad's office. She ended up selling it for a loss in 2019 at $2.63 million. She did not, in fact, take the money. She continued to give interviews saying that she was still close with Jack, and actually he hated the hairless cats that she had acquired and wouldn't come over because of them. That's why he wouldn't come over. She also revealed how he hated how she decorated their shared apartment and tweeted out a list of baby names that they apparently had made together when they were still dating. Everyone thought it was super weird and told her to delete it, but she claimed that Jack thought it was funny. And then came the PowerPoint. It had been long rumored that Jack had an affair with Lorde, which Jack had dismissed as dumb heteronormative gossip. Does Jack know that he's a straight white male? Well, that lit a fire under one very dedicated person's bottom, and they released a 29-page PowerPoint presentation proving that Jack was mucking about with little Lorde the whole time. They claimed it all started back in 2014 or 2015. Either Jack met Lorde at a Grammy party through Taylor Swift, or they met at Canadian Grime show through Lena, as the two had been talking online. Apparently, Jack got Lorde a pineapple juice in either of these scenarios, and she said he felt like home to her. At this time, Lorde was still dating James Lowe, who was 8 years her senior. She was 16 and he was 24 when they started dating. But they broke up in 2015. That summer, she started working on her album Melodrama with Jack. By 2016, Lorde had essentially moved in with Lena and Jack as they had spent a decent chunk of time recording at his apartment. Meanwhile, Lena was busy campaigning with Hillary Clinton, but was still around enough to witness the album being worked on, saying it was a privilege to watch her create and feed her little snacks. That April, the pair went to Coachella together. This is when the PowerPoint creator theorized that they started hooking up and referred to it as Summer 16, as they believed that Drake's song Summer 16 is about Lorde and Jack fornicating. It's not. After Lena and Jack announced their breakup in January, it was revealed that Jack was publicly dating someone else and that they were a musician. Lorde told Billboard magazine that she and Jack still FaceTimed all the time and were basically obsessed with each other despite her album being completed. She also performed on SNL with him in a wedding dress. I don't know. That February, Jack went with Lorde to her hometown, all the way in New Zealand, and 2 months later, Lorde brought Jack on stage at her Brooklyn show. Onlookers were aghast at how flirty they were with each other. There was lap sitting, knee stroking, and much eye-gazing. One of the songs that they played together was a cover of St. Vincent's New York, which led to speculation that either they were doing the horizontal mambo or Lorde had unrequited feelings for Jack. And much of that speculation came from sources outside the PowerPoint. I know it's hard to take the PowerPoint seriously, especially with the whole Drake thing and blaming Lena for the downfall of the US. I mean, she's responsible for a lot, but not that exactly. Like The Cut and people who reported on Jack's little February adventure to Lorde's hometown in New Zealand, where sources claim that the pair were just friends. Like, seriously, guys, come on. I mean, look at these two really good friends. This is already long enough, yet still, there is more. This year, Lena released a memoir where she revealed that after her hysterectomy, she met up with a childhood friend and she asked him to sleep with her. She continued to sleep with him while Jack was on tour. It's almost like it's never just pancakes. She apparently told Jack about the affair one morning during breakfast, and that's when they realized that they were not making each other happy anymore. She said, "We put our foreheads together and wept. In some fit of delusion, I asked if we could still go on dates. 'We can do whatever you want,' he said, the relief making us both euphoric with adoration." And I'm sure they hung out a lot since he had so much spare times on his hands not sticking it to Lorde. Right, Lena? because Lena did not believe that he ever slept with Lorde, yet weirdly, she stopped being friends with the youngster after she broke up with Jack. And she was really sad about that. I mean, it must have just been a coincidence on Lorde's part. Anyway, Jack went on to date model Carlotta Cole, whose bottom is the picture on St. Vincent's Mass Education album, which, you know, is the album with the song New York on it. And this did throw Lena for a loop because she thought that dating Jack meant that weird girls had won, which shows how high of a pedestal she had put him on. I mean, we all have eyes. Jack is the weird girl when it comes to Carlotta. Or perhaps it just shows how little self-awareness Lena actually has, which is something I've always believed to be true. Jack dated Carlotta from 2018 to 2020 and then started dating Margaret Qualley in 2021. I did make a video about them and they are now estranged. Shocking, who could have called that? Lena started dating musician Louis Felber in 2021. They were also matched via blind date in January of that year and were married 8 months later. They worked together on her show Too Much, which Lena claims is not directly about Jack. I'll let you decide that one for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please save it and share it with your friends. It really does help spread the good word of the cult. And don't forget to follow me over on the gram and the Tube of the U just in case. I also have a bulletin board on TikTok if you want updates on what we're doing over here. Good day, and may the cult be with you.